Hello and welcome to the Rai Centre in Amsterdam on this, the last day of IBC 2009. Now, if you've just arrived, there's still time to do business, and we're here to help with the latest stories from around the show. You're watching IBC TV News. In today's programme, which format's best? We focus on some top-end cameras. See it, hear it, and now feel it. Is this true reality TV? And just a minute, join our lightning tour of IBC. The film versus video debate has been going on for years, and now with so many formats around, the choice is wider than ever. But few people ever get the chance to compare pictures side by side, which is why IBC arranged a demonstration to do just that. Top-end cameras from many backgrounds went head-to-head, and there couldn't have been a more critical audience. Gillian Kelly went along.
In the beginning, there was only film. Today, there's a big choice of formats, but that also means big decisions, as it's not always clear which format will be best for a given production. It's a debate all too familiar to feature film and programme makers. Now, in a groundbreaking exercise, the BSC and ASC have compared cameras head-to-head. The test could help industry professionals decide which way to go.
The problem that we have at the moment is not how you capture the image, it's how you deal with it in post-production. And there is such a big sort of blurring of where does the responsibility of the cinematographer end when it comes to post-production, because there's so much manipulation that you can do and so much the cinematographer needs to know about before they make those choices as to what camera they're going to shoot with.
These are the tests which were carried out in the UK. 18 cameras were put through their paces on studio and location sets, lit for both day and night. The testing was more rigorous than any exercise carried out before. The British and American assessments were brought together here at IBC with results shown on the big screen.
The industry is reacting very excitedly about these tests. We've gotten a lot of requests from the studios and the networks to see it, as well as independent producers. But the thing is to remember is because the field is changing so rapidly, this is just phase one.
As always, one of the big talking points is how digital footage from top-end products like the Red camera compares to film. 35mm is still widely regarded as the gold standard for the industry, but is that justified?
It's a big question. Of course, film has a lot of advantages.
There are a lot of interesting things happening here, and a very bright future for digital cameras.
We don't know much more, I think, but everybody has to look what film you want to shoot and then take your camera. That's the point, I guess.
I'm personally a film lover from the beginning, but I also appreciate the variety that the digital world is also introducing.
That debate will continue, but now filmmakers have a definitive guide to each camera's capabilities, plus research on how that impacts on post-production and workflow. Cinematographers say the project has given them an invaluable resource for the future production of movies and high-end TV.
Gillian Kelly reporting. And now with our final day's roundup of the main business stories from around the show, here's Chris Page.
Thanks, Rob. Harris has chosen IBC to announce the launch of 5 new products. They include a new One U server, new graphics and video processing engines, and platinum transmitters.
The Europe, Middle East, Africa region is growing, so we've chosen to launch products for the first time at this show rather than necessarily always launching products at NAB. So products in all these categories are very significant for us. We look forward to welcoming customers to our stand here at IBC. We think they're going to be excited by what we've got to tell them.
Omniglobe has announced a $2 million contract to provide 12 new teleports for Arabsat. The platforms will transmit SCPC TV streams throughout the Arab world. It's Omniglobe's first major deal in the region. Canon has won a contract to supply its lenses to SABC in South Africa. They'll be used for football outside broadcasts. South Africa is staging next year's Football World Cup finals.
The big lenses, in stereotype productions, you tend to go for small lenses, but the big lens is going to be for sport and to give the close-ups, especially for soccer.
The All-Russian State Institute of Cinematography has chosen Synergy Workflow for a new €90 million studio complex. The prestigious Film and Television School is building a huge tapeless TV production facility. Associated Press has sold its new ENPS system to 2 broadcasters in India. Day and Night News and ABN will use the system to store, manage and deliver video content. Marshall Electronics has unveiled 3 lightweight high-resolution field monitors at IBC. The camera top monitors have filters for use in strong light. The first film shot with Arri's M-scope adapter is in post-production. New Trois used high-end Hawk anamorphic lenses mounted to a D21 camera.
Basically, you record 2 frames that you recombine after, and you have an anamorphic image that you have to squeeze after when you go in projection on a theatre.
And finally, Digivision has announced a major sale to Belgium's public broadcaster VRT. Its grading system will be used for finishing HD documentaries and drama series. It was chosen because of its compatibility with Avid. And those are the main business stories on this, the last day of IBC. You'll be able to find late-breaking news on our website. That's at ibctvnews.com.
Now, as manufacturers fight to weather the recession, the search is on for new customers. There is a market out there, but it may mean looking further afield. Some of the best business opportunities are now to be found in emerging markets. China, India, the Middle East are all growth areas. But getting into these countries may require a fresh approach. Karen Griggs reports.
Television. How the viewers get to see it really isn't of any concern to them, but the fact that they do want to watch it is of concern to delegates at IBC. And there are some markets that are well worth tapping into, but getting a foot in the door can be tricky. In China, it's boom time for broadcasters with 15 major networks and 3,500 TV stations, so there is business to be done.
You really have to, have the right Chinese partner. But I would recommend you don't even try. You're wasting your time and your money. And you have to be very patient. They have a very long horizon. I'm not sure I'll live long enough to see the end of the horizon, but they're very strong on relationships. I mean, if I walked into you and made a pitch to get clearance or whatever, we'd really have to get to know each other better. And we would have to have some social events and get more comfortable with each other before we could really do any serious business.
To make the most of that Chinese success story, advice is to make use of that technology, to get to know your market and, more importantly, getting them to know you.
We basically work with key bloggers who create, if you will, a spill of influence. And so communicating in China is very different. It's much more advanced than a lot of people think.
But if the state-regulated Chinese television market seems too tough to crack, how about the billion-plus population of India? Or at least the broadcasters that provide their entertainment. But the trick to successful business here is to forget everything you think you already know and start again.
First of all, you have to rethink your business model. You cannot take a Western business model and impose it into a country like India. It's just not going to work. When you're serving people at the bottom of the pyramid, you have to remember that they don't have disposable income, and they'll spend income only on stuff that they think is essential.
Another rapidly expanding marketplace for the broadcast industry is the Middle East, which is exactly where the winners of this year's IBC Innovation Award for Content Delivery comes from.
The different broadcasters are members. They will procure their own equipment, and it is an open system. It is not a closed system. Now we certify 3 manufacturers, and we are open to certify other manufacturers. It's always better for us to have different manufacturers, so that is the prices should not be controlled.
In a sea of faces, getting the name attached to yours known is never going to be easy. But here's hoping by just being at IBC 2009, your business will now ring some bells with delegates from countries where the going is still very good.